Good morning, welcome to a morning outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 14th of February, and a happy Valentine's to you all. Okay, let's just have a look at news risk events that are coming on the news service here today. Well, FOMC member even talking at 4 o'clock, and then we've got Lagarde speaking at 4:15. Both of these events could create volatility to move the markets. Of course, they're very low down compared to the current situation with Ukraine and Russia, which is hogging the headlines at the moment. It certainly came in quite strongly on Friday, and the weekend didn't change anything, so its tensions are high there. So in general terms, it's a risk off in terms of money running away into safety. So let's have a look at what we're seeing here then, starting off with the euro dollar from Friday, where we saw quite a stronger sell-off come towards the end of the day there, as the chatter got more and more aggressive, and it looks like today we could see more of the same. We've already seen it hit some levels. Now we have the weekly pivot. If it was to get any sort of bounce this morning and run into something, that's where I'd like it to go to. Run into that, and I'll look at selling into it. But at the moment, it's just starting. It's already caught the daily pivot there. It's starting its move to the downside by looks of things. But I'll wait post 8 o'clock. Cable, morning. Cable, what we've got here with cable then. So chop on the dailies is continued. It didn't have such a bearish day there on Friday, but it does look a hell of a mess, doesn't it? When you sort of come out onto the 4-hourly, zoom in a little bit. I say come out, go the other way, zoom in. Currently got a very mild divergence across the low here, but as I say, it's very mild. We could see post 8 o'clock that continuing to sell. Support is very close. The S1's not that far away either. It's all sort of tied up. Last week's pivot sort of sitting there where it bounced last week. That could become a target once again. So Friday's lows there, so it does look soft. Dollar yen. So yen on Friday strengthened against the dollar a bit there. It strengthened against most of its peers on Friday as the money started flowing back towards this sort of safety aspect. It's not doing too much against the dollar here. Maybe if we just zoom to the euro yen, and you see, well, even that's not really moving too much. So the dollar yen, well, just it's a tougher one. Money also, of course, running towards the dollar, but either way, the yen benefited on Friday. A break of this 4-hourly 50 could see a continuation to that downside. It's looking in poised in that direction, but as I say, we'll see what happens post 8 o'clock. But for now, certainly against its peers, I think it will hold up better. Aussie dollar. Aussie on the dailies here, again bearish sort of view here. It's swinging. It looks like it's swinging to the downside. Over the next couple of days, whilst tensions rise, we could see more of that. Bit of a bounce going on at the moment as it's sort of running in towards. We're not far out of Friday's lows there, not far from it. Quite consolidated. Bit of price action we've got in the shorter term. Again, I would look at really at this stage, potentially looking for shorts off this, but maybe get a bigger bounce in store this morning. Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar you'd expect would have taken advantage of the higher oil prices, but it's not. It just shows you how much people are concerned. The Canadian dollar lost more value on Friday, pushing up further. So it comes through here, and it's a week I've spent a lot of the time consolidating, with the occasional either sell-off or rally, or sell-off and then next rally. It seems chopping away where it is at the moment. Move off the weekly pivot may give further upside. It's consolidating around its near-term highs here. Again, we could just see a breakout of that. Just be a bit careful in terms of its first break. It might just run into Friday's highs, then pull back again as it dances around this morning. But at the moment, just seeing a bit of energy coming into it on a stronger Canadian dollar with slightly softer US dollar, but I don't expect that to hold. Okay, just I've already looked at euro there, yen there. So a lot of these pound yen, it's just running to the pound yen, and you see the pound yen also quite soft here as the yen becomes that sort of safety aspect. We'll see it through most of the cross currencies there. Okay, gold should be a safety place, and we saw it shoot up there on Friday. I said yesterday then. Retracing a tad at the moment. I mean, a bounce back into the weekly pivot will be beneficial for an opportunity, I should say, for it, for buyers. Other areas, well, back towards the 18th, 30 odd, where have I put that to? 1842, even not 30 at all. But there's a couple of areas here, a couple of pivots that it might just come back to and provide us. As the daily pivot actually is just above the weekly pivot here, so a couple of opportunities where it might find a decent bit of support. And it does, as I say, at the moment with the current situation, it's bullish. Now, of course, that could just turn so quickly. So trade carefully on this sort of news. If a resolution was to come through and an agreement's made, it could move very quickly the other way. Could get the relief. Looking at Western Texas, then it's not the time to be shorting it, that's for sure. Pushing up again. At the moment here, it's just edging in to a new high this morning as it's gone through the Asian session. But again, who knows? It might retrace a tad back towards the weekly pivot. Again, that would give potential opportunities, particularly if it was to do it this afternoon. But I just expect at this stage, I know there's people just wanting to sell it, but at this stage I would steer clear until there is some sort of resolution in Ukraine Russia situation. Okay, that's that. Right, let's move over to looking at let's look at what the cryptos have been up to during the weekend, where they're basically selling. I was looking at them over the weekend and I thought, oh, there's a bit of greenness there on Saturday, and it bounced and then it dropped. But it is just looking like it's still in this sort of retracement. Now, how deep this retracement goes, how far we go, we'll have to see. For me, it only gets bullish when it passes that 45, let's call it 46 area, 46,000. That's when it starts getting a bit more bearish. It'll have been pushing up through these prior lows and getting away from that resistance, and then it looks bullish. At the moment, it could just be in just a continuation of this sort of bigger movement to the downside. So it's treading carefully there. Ethereum, same sort of picture really, no real change. We had the stronger move up there the previous week there and into last week, but that's since sold off. We had a key reversal bar coming in there that started the rot to the downside there, and it's just continued through the rest of the week and into this week at the moment. Well, slight bounce. Ripple, we got a bit of a bounce on some further news from the court situation there, the court battle, but that's not managed to be, it wasn't held on to too quickly, or to all of it. So again, heading south at the moment, and the story around the rest of these cryptos is pretty much the same. Some of the slightly weaker looking ones are already closing in on their prior lows here. I was looking at was it for the moon, as we like to call it. There we go. It's already broken down the lows, the prior lows there. Really looking quite soft at the moment. So it might be just a bit of a signal. Indices. So actually, before I do the indices, someone was asking me about Vodafone, so I'll quickly put Vodafone on there as a stock. Is it time to sell? Whenever I see like that, I know it's going to be pushing up high. Personally, as ever, I won't be looking to sell into a rally like that, but of course it might be even today that it pulls back, as we see the equity markets, London equity markets selling off, which I'm sure there's the potential of seeing. It is at a key point on its weeklies here anyway, this Vodafone, so just looking at the weekly highs there, it's around a key area. We'll just have to wait and see, but even if it does start selling for a while, personally I don't need to be first in. Anyway, there we are. Answered that one. Let's have a look around the other markets then. The CSI 300, let's switch this back to a daily, but actually before we do, it's quite nice. Just looking, I've been bearish on this for ages, and it's continuing to run to the downside overall. Doesn't look like there's a lot of hope for it at the moment. Equities being sold through the Asian session, and we're seeing, well, that market's closed now, and even a gap down and a close even further lower. The Nikkei, again, gap down, looking softer. It's this sort of risk off. It's showing through the equity markets. The Ftse is not open yet. I expect it to follow suit. DAX, there we go. DAX this isn't, just checking, I've got an open market here, 14th, yep, gap down and from the close, and looking soft at the moment. So same story through many of these. Actually, I'm looking at the CAC there, and of course it's just not quite the same story at the moment, but overall it still looks on the softer side. US markets here, E-minis. Again, looking at just got that little touch of hope in there. Nasdaq, again, similar picture all the way through there. Currently, just got a little tiny bounce there, but I wouldn't hold my breath on that. Nasdaq, sorry, Nifty 50, beg your pardon. Nasdaq, all done this Nasdaq. Nifty 50, big gap down there, looking soft. Again, no surprises. This is sort of a worldwide situation that's been affected with this current conflict, and we're seeing it through all the markets. So Ftse today, I expect it to open up on the downside. Just checking, no, it's not open yet. Another minute or so, but I expect that to open to the downside as well. Would I sell it because it's open to the downside? Not really. It still sits. It's made new highs last week. Ended the week pretty close to its highs. I'd expect a bit of selling coming through today. That will be priced in quite quickly into the market. But have we finished this downside or upside? Don't know. An early resolution would see it race up there. A correction could be a bit deeper if the talks go on. Okay, that's it for me. Nice new icons. They're quite annoying. I thought I like the old. I haven't. I should move them across, but yeah, the icons are there. Morning, Alan. Anyway, there we go. I'm going to wish you, John, Alan, and co. Wish you a great morning, and I'll catch you. There you go. Ftse's just open. You keep me talking. There we go. There's no surprise there. Then the Ftse coming off at the moment. It's coming off quite strongly at this stage. Bit of money running, risk coming out of this market at the moment, and could see it. It's pushed up quite so hard. Could have quite a biggish down the day there. Then Vodafone will be dropping through the floor. It's just there we go. We can have a look at it live now. It's gapped down, but it's picked up a little bit. But it is one of the stronger groups, so I'd be very careful against selling into that. Right, that's it for me. Have a great day. I'll catch you in the morning. Bye for now.